Yeah, but anyway, I think it was a nice topic and do that. And I want to do another firewall about these AntiFa's swine, these fascist cowards, and um, people. You know, I met some kids from TPUSA who are. I met her earlier and before the election, and she was part of a Minnesota group of Turning Point USA, and she was being harassed by these left wingers. But after the election, they published her name, they published her phone number, her address, her parents' phone number, their address, and they've got these little slogans like "Smash the Fash." And these Antifa children, these no, they're not children, they're thugs. These thugs, these intimidating bastards, they are so unbelievably dense. They're just so bloody stupid. You go to the website for these fight fascism people, and what they've got is they've got a logo with three arrows pointing down that looks exactly like the actual Mussolini fascist Italian symbol, and their colors are red and black, and they've got fists everywhere, and their red and black logo with the arrows pointing down, and the fists smashing everywhere, and the calls to violence, and the beat the daylights out of them. This is all to prevent fascism. You see how it works? These are all the moves that anti-fascists make, and sometimes the world is just—it's not even irony anymore. It's just tragedy, and you just want to give these people a good thrashing before you send them to jail. I don't mean by me. I mean I think it'd be really fun for them, for these Antifa warriors in their black hoodies and their black masks, the bloody cowards, anonymous, faceless cowards. I'd really like for them to actually encounter, the SA, not the SS. I mean, I can't stand it, but I'm not that kind of guy. I don't want him to have him run into the SS, but I wouldn't mind having him run into the SA for a little bit. I wouldn't mind some of these Antifa guys in their black outfits be surrounded by something like, I don't know, 300 big drunken Munich Germans who had fought in World War I and had absolutely nothing to lose, and rough them up a little bit. Because that's what they do. They find somebody who wants to go and listen to a thin gay man with fabulous hair, wants to go and listen to him speak on campus, and in exchange for that travesty, they get together and knock him unconscious out of their courageous fighting the fascism resistance. They stomp him with black boots and black hats and black masks and black shirts and black pants and black gloves, and they're stomping people, and as they're on the ground bleeding, they say, "That's for you, you Nazi." And sometimes you just think God's hand is just going to come down and throw a lightning bolt at people. You cannot be that. You cannot be that dense. And somebody pointed out there, and I'd love to mention your name, but you've got one of those awesome generated passwords, CJ8GZN2W1XJ, says the fascists of the futures will call themselves anti-fascist. That's been attributed to Winston Churchill. Doesn't surprise me at all. Anyway, this poor girl is she's just trying to get her degree. They're just trying to finish at college at the University of Wisconsin, and she would like to go home, not murdered or anything, because she had the temerity to admit that she voted for Donald Trump and Republican. The only thing in this whole thing that I find amusing, and I just find this generally actually amusing, so I think I saw a Facebook post from one of these cowards, and every other word was the F word, but basically he was saying, "Hey, I'm facing effing 10 years of effing felony time in an effing federal prison, and I want to know why the F no one else has effing told me that you can get arrested for this. I mean, why didn't anybody else effing tell me that, that you might effing go to effing prison for all this?" And I thought, that's really it, isn't it? I mean, they were 8 years old when Obama was elected, and since Obama's not only not enforced the laws, he's actually been cheerleader for the people breaking the law. It must come as a bit of surprise to some of these black-shirted cowards that smashing people's heads or the front of their bank buildings or setting their cars on fire carries consequences. Wouldn't that be sweet? Hey, Justin, it's good to know that you're actually CJ8GZN2W1XJ is actually Justin. That's the kind of thing that makes life a little more manageable. Anyway, I hope that bastard goes to jail for 10 years. That's probably extreme, given the fact that he didn't even have a chance, given by the fact he was raised by feral communists. But a year or two, think things over. I wouldn't feel too bad about that at all. Not standing up to Adolf Hitler when you cover yourself in a black mask and smash a bank or beat up some person who's completely unarmed by themselves because they have the temerity. They didn't even say anything. They had the temerity to want to go and listen to somebody speak their mind on a college campus. We can't have that. I would like to meet these cowards with, with some people from the intelligence services and some SEALs and some of those other people. Just scare them straight. Don't want to hurt them really, just enough to scare them straight. Have them run into actual warriors and see how long it takes for them to wet their pants. I'm guessing it wouldn't take too long at all. This is what happens when you're bored and affluent, right? You've gotten everything you ever wanted as you asked for it. So why wouldn't you go burn things down, right? I mean, at least it's not boring. There's nothing more boring, I think, than being given everything you want all the time. If you think about it, really, if you really get down to it, that's probably the worst thing that can happen to a person. I mean, you want to talk about bored. You think, I'm bored. It'd be nice if I had a boat. Well, here's your boat. It'd be nice if I had a nicer boat. Here's your nicer boat. Well, maybe I want to learn to fly. Here's your airplane. After a while, you don't have to work for anything. You don't have to wait for anything, and life would just become horrible. And I hope they're having a horrible life because they're horrible people. I don't mean that in a bad way or anything. Am I the only person, by the way, who thinks that Antifa was picked because it sounds a bit like intifada? Do you think? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But it sounds to me like they're trying to cash in on some more, you're a warrior and you're part of the intifada, only you fight people with no weapons and no defenses. And you beat them up and beat them unconscious and smash windows and you do it with your face covered because you're cowards. You're cowards. And if you keep this up, you're going to find out that the world has changed a little bit since you've been on summer break from your studies degree. And you may find that the law is actually going to be enforced in this country now. And you may also find out that enforcing the law is not fascist at all. In fact, on the contrary, fascists are people that break the law and hurt people. If you're going to go around kicking people's heads in and smashing windows and burning cars and ruining people's lives, then you might find out that that is in fact fascism, and the law is here to protect civilized people from the likes of animals such as you. Let's get going here.